Alright, folks, gather around. If you've ever bent down to pick up a penny and thought, meh, it's just 1 cent, hold up. Because today, we're talking about a little OL coin that might not make you rich but is still worth more than face value. Yep, I'm talking about the 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. And guess what? It's got a market value of about $1.10 right now. That's 110 times its face value. Not enough to retire, but hey, that's an extra candy bar at the checkout. But why is this coin special? How can you find one? And should you even care? Well, buckle up because we're diving into the world of small change that adds up, literally. This penny was struck in Philadelphia, which traditionally didn't put mint marks on its coins until 1980. It features the classic Lincoln portrait designed by Victor David Brenner, the same guy who designed the penny in 1909. It's made of 95% copper, meaning it's worth more in metal weight than in actual spending power. But don't melt it down, Uncle Sam frowns upon that. First off, collectors love coins, especially older ones in good condition, copper value. A regular 1973 penny contains about 2.5 grams of copper, and if copper prices rise, so does the coin's value. The nostalgia factor. This coin has been jingling around pockets, couch cushions, and wishing fountains for over 50 years, this one. Probably not gonna make me rich. But a crisp, uncirculated one. Now we're talking. Check the condition, if it looks like it just left the mint, it's worth more. Errors. Some 1973 pennies have double die obverse, a slightly double design, and those can go for more. Use a magnifying glass or a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to check its value, market value and collecting strategy. The current market value is around $1.10 for a well-preserved coin, but higher grades can fetch more. If you have a roll of old pennies, check them. You might find one in great condition hiding in plain sight. Think long-term. If copper prices rise, so will the value of these older pennies. Back in the day, my grandpa told me to save my pennies. I thought he was just being old-fashioned, but turns out, grandpa was onto something. Now, I've got a little hoard of copper Lincoln cents, and while I'm not retiring yet, I might just buy myself a nice dinner one day. Thanks, Grandpa. If you love coins and history, yes. If you enjoy the thrill of treasure hunting, absolutely. If you're hoping to get rich overnight, maybe look into Bitcoin instead. But let's be real. Finding a rare coin is like finding an unopened bag of chips that's actually full. It's rare, but when it happens, it's beautiful. Alright, coin lovers, we've cracked the mystery of the 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Is it worth a fortune? No. But is it worth more than a penny? Absolutely. And hey, if you have one in pristine condition, you might have a little hidden treasure right in your pocket. So here's your mission: check your change, search those old piggy banks, and who knows? You might just find something cool. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into pocket change profits, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications. I've got more tips on coins worth money, collecting strategies, and maybe even a few hidden gems that could actually make you rich. Don't miss out. Alright, folks, let's talk about something that might be hiding in your couch cushions, your grandpa's old coin jar, or even at the bottom of your laundry machine. A plain OL 1975 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Sounds boring, right? But guess what? This little guy is actually worth some money. And today, I'm gonna break it all down for you in the most entertaining way possible. So, stick around because by the end of this video, you might just start checking your spare change like it's a treasure hunt. Before we get into the juicy details, don't forget to smash that like button like you're flattening a penny on train tracks. And subscribe for more coin hunting secrets because, trust me, there's a lot of hidden money out there, and I want to help you find it. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1975 Lincoln penny with no mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, before you go throwing a party thinking you hit the jackpot, let me be real with you, this is not $1 million penny. It's not even a $1,000 penny. But it is worth more than 1 cent. And that's still a win in my book. Back in 1975, the US Mint produced millions of these pennies. Philadelphia didn't use a mint mark back then, so if your penny doesn't have a tiny D or S under the date, congrats. It came from Philly. Now, if you're holding on to one of these, its base value is, drumroll, please, about $1.20 in average condition. That's 120 times its face value. Not bad for something you probably picked up in your change from buying a candy bar. You might be wondering, why the heck would anyone pay more than a penny for a penny? Good question. Well, collectors love these coins for a few reasons. First, they're getting harder to find in good condition. Most pennies from 1975 have been in circulation for almost 50 years, meaning they've been scratched up, tossed around, and spent on countless packs of gum. Second, copper. Yup, these pennies are made of 95% copper. And with copper prices fluctuating, even the melt value alone is worth more than 1 cent. But, folks, let me be clear, don't melt your pennies. That's illegal. Uncle Sam doesn't like it when you turn his coins into scrap metal. Just collect them, appreciate them, and maybe sell them to someone who wants them for their collection. Now, this is where things get exciting. If your 1975 penny has certain errors, it could be worth a lot more. I'm talking about double dies, off-center strikes, or even missing letters in Liberty or In God We Trust. Those weird factory mistakes can turn a regular penny into a collector's dream. And some of these error pennies have sold for hundreds of dollars. So, before you cash in that jar of change, give your pennies a second look. Who knows? You might have a hidden gem sitting in there. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years back, I was going through my dad's old coin jar, you know, the one that sat on the counter collecting dust for decades. And I found a 1975 penny. At first, I didn't think much of it, but after a little research, I realized it was in great condition. I took it to a local coin dealer, and guess what? They offered me $10 for it. Now, $10 might not sound like a fortune, but for a single penny I found by accident, that was a good day. And it made me realize just how many people overlook the money hiding right under their noses. So, my friends, the moral of the story is this: start checking your change. The 1975 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny may not be an instant millionaire maker, but it's still a fun and easy way to make a little extra cash. Plus, who doesn't love a good treasure hunt? And before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you love finding hidden money, rare coins, and cool collecting tips, you won't want to miss my next video. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss out. Also, drop a comment below: have you ever found a valuable coin in your change? I want to hear your stories. Alright, that's all for today, folks. Happy coin hunting, and may your pockets be full of hidden treasures. Alright, folks, let's talk about something you probably have in your pocket right now, a plain old penny. But what if I told you that one tiny, seemingly ordinary coin could be worth way more than a cent? I'm talking about a 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that's currently valued at $1.30 in the collector's market. Yup, you heard me right. A penny worth more than $1, now that's inflation I can get behind. In today's video, we're diving deep into why this little copper wonder is worth more than face value, how to spot one, and the history behind it. Oh, and I've got a funny story about how I almost spent one of these at a gas station. Rookie mistake. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. So, what's the deal with this 1982 Lincoln penny? First off, let's talk about the obvious question: why no mint mark? The answer? It was minted in Philadelphia. Before 1985, the Philly Mint didn't mark their coins with a P like Denver and San Francisco did. So if your penny doesn't have a letter under the date, boom, it's from Philly. But not all 1982 pennies are valuable. There were actually 7 different varieties made that year. Yup, 7. It's like they couldn't make up their minds. Some are large dates, some are small dates, some are copper, some are zinc. It's basically a numismatic soap opera. Now, the one that gets collectors excited is the 1982 no mint mark small date copper penny, and here's how to tell if you've got the right one. Step 1, weigh your penny. If it's 3.11 grams, congratulations, it's copper. If it's 2.5 grams, it's zinc, and sadly, worth only a cent. Step 2, check the date. A small date has a thinner 2 that's level with the numbers around it. The large date, in comparison, has a chunkier 2 that sits higher. Trust me, once you see the difference, you'll never unsee it. Got a 1982 small date copper penny? Congrats! You're looking at a coin that's worth around $1.30 in circulated condition. Not bad for a penny, right? And in higher grades, these can fetch upwards of $50 to $100. Not exactly quit your job money, but hey, it's a nice upgrade from a gumball machine budget. Okay, so let me tell you how I almost accidentally spent one of these bad boys. Picture this, I'm at a gas station, I grab a pack of gum, and I'm short on change. So I dig into my pocket, pull out a handful of coins, and slide them over. The cashier picks up a 1982 penny, pauses, and says, "You sure you want to use this?" I shrug, totally clueless, and say, "Yeah, why not?" It's a penny. Fast forward to me Googling in my car, and realizing I just spent a $50 penny on gum. Yeah. That gum was not worth it. Moral of the story? Check your change. Alright, so now you know, 1982 Lincoln pennies aren't all created equal. The no mint mark small date copper penny is the one to look out for, and it's worth $1.30 in average condition, but much more in high grades. If you ever come across one, hold on to it. Or, don't spend it on gum. Before we wrap up, a quick tip: if you find one of these, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A certified high-grade penny can mean serious profit. Plus, if you're a collector, it's always fun to have a rare coin with a story. And there you have it, your pocket change might be hiding a mini treasure. If you learned something new today, hit that like button and smash that subscribe button for more coin hunting tips and tricks. I cover everything from rare pennies to silver dimes that could be worth thousands. Plus, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare penny in your change? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Hey, coin lovers! Have you ever picked up a penny and thought, "Man, I wish this thing was worth more than 1 cent"? Well, guess what? Some pennies are worth more, and today, we're diving deep into one sneaky little coin that's hiding in plain sight, the 1983 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Yep, that unassuming little copper-colored coin jingling in your pocket might just be worth more than you think. And spoiler alert, it's not gonna make you a millionaire, but hey, $1.40 is better than 1 cent, right? So stick around, and let's crack open the piggy bank of knowledge. The 1983 Lincoln penny is a zinc-based coin with a thin layer of copper, because, the government had to cut costs. No more solid copper after 1982. But what makes the 1983 penny special is its no mint mark. That means it was made in Philadelphia, which, fun fact, didn't start using mint marks on pennies until 2017. So if you've got a 1983 penny without a mint mark, congrats, you've got a Philly special. Now, let's talk money. The average 1983 no mint mark penny is valued at about $1.40 in good condition. Not exactly an early retirement plan, but let's put it in perspective. If you found 100 of these in a jar, that's $140, enough for a fancy dinner or a tank of gas. But wait, there's more. Some 1983 pennies have errors, like doubling in the lettering or a rare copper planchet mistake. If you hit the jackpot and find one of those, you could be looking at hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A while back, I was going through my old coin jar, you know, the one that just sits on the counter collecting dust. I wasn't expecting much, but lo and behold, I found a 1983 penny. I got all excited, thinking I had a goldmine in my hands. Turns out, it was worth exactly $1.40. But hey, that's still 140 times its face value. And it made me appreciate how even the smallest things can hold you. Check your pennies. You never know what hidden gems are lurking in your pocket change. And if you're a fellow coin nerd, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more videos coming up on rare coins, valuable finds, and strategies to turn your spare change into some serious cash. Drop a comment below. Have you ever found a valuable penny? Or do you just throw them in a jar like I used to? Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, folks. What if I told you that this little penny in my hand, the one you probably have lying around in your couch cushions, your car's cup holder, or even at the bottom of your laundry basket, is actually worth more than just 1 cent? Yeah, you heard me right. Today, we're talking about the 1996 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why it's worth more than its face value. Now, before you start flipping over every penny you've ever touched, let's break it down: what makes this coin special, what it's really worth, and whether you should be hoarding them like a dragon sitting on a pile of copper. Oh, and stick around to the end because I'll be sharing a personal story about how a single penny almost got me into a very awkward situation. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. First things first, what does no mint mark even mean? Well, in the world of coin collecting, a mint mark tells you where a coin was made. If there's no letter under the date, it means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Simple enough, right? But here's the kicker: just because it doesn't have a mint mark doesn't make it super rare, but it does make it a little more interesting, especially to collectors. Alright, let's talk numbers because I know that's why you're here. The 1996 no mint Mark Lincoln penny in circulated condition is worth about, drumroll, please, $1.50. Now, before you start laughing and saying, that's not exactly retirement money, let me remind you, this is a penny. That means its value has increased by 150 times. Imagine if your bank account did that overnight. You'd be buying an island by morning. Now, if you find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, shiny, no scratches, looking like it just stepped out of a coin spa, it can go for even more, sometimes upwards of $10 or even $20. And if it has any cool errors, like a double die, an off-center strike, or something wild like a ghostly floating Lincoln, you might be looking at a much higher payday. So, how do you get your hands on one of these? Well, let me tell you, you don't have to go digging through ancient treasure maps or breaking into museums. Just start checking your change. Go through your coin jars, piggy banks, and ask your grandma to let you sort through her spare change. Grandmas are basically walking banks filled with old coins. Actually, speaking of grandmas, my own granny once gave me a handful of pennies when I was a kid and told me to save them because they'll be worth something one day. I rolled my eyes, stuffed them in a jar, and forgot about them. Fast forward 20 years, and guess what? One of those pennies was a valuable one. I had to call her up and tell her she was right, because we all know how much grandmas love hearing that. Now, here's the real question: should you be saving every 1996 penny you come across? Well, unless you want to be known as the penny hoarder in your friend group, probably not. But, if you come across a shiny, uncirculated one or something with an error, definitely set it aside. A penny saved is, well, a penny that might turn into a few bucks. Alright, folks, that's the scoop on the 1996 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. It's not going to make you a millionaire overnight, but hey, $1.50 for something that's supposed to be worth 1 cent. That's a pretty good deal. Now, before you go digging through your car's center console or raiding your family's piggy banks, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on more coin collecting tips, tricks, and hidden treasures. Trust me, you never know when you might be holding onto a coin worth some serious cash, and remember, next time someone tries to tell you a penny is just a penny, you can hit them with some coin knowledge and maybe even make a little money in the process. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, let's play a little game. If I handed you a 2001 Lincoln penny, you'd probably chuck it in your meh pile, right? I mean, it's just a penny. You might even slide it under the couch cushion like it's some kind of useless arcade token. But what if I told you this little copper-colored disc could be worth more than $1? Yep, that's right. A 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just pocket change, it's a tiny moneymaker. And today, we're diving into why this everyday coin is worth more than face value and how you can spot one in your loose change. So, grab your coin jar and let's get hunting. Okay, so first things first, what even is a no-mint mark penny? Simple. If you look at a regular US penny, you'll usually see a tiny letter under the date, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and sometimes P for Philadelphia. But our buddy here? Nada. No letter at all. This means it was made at the Philadelphia Mint, which, for some reason, just decided, we don't need to stamp our name on this one. Typical Philly, am I right? So, why in the world would anyone pay $1.60 for a coin you literally step over in a parking lot? Well, there are a few reasons. Condition matters. If your 2001 Lincoln penny is in superb uncirculated condition, collectors will pay extra for that crisp, shiny look, demand and collectability. Certain collectors just love hoarding pennies from the early 2000s inflation, baby. A penny just ain't what it used to be. With $1.60, you could almost afford a gas station coffee. Almost. Now, before you go tearing apart your couch cushions like a raccoon on a treasure hunt, let's talk about where you might actually find these bad boys, your piggy bank. Duh. Shake it out and check those pennies, cash register change. If you're still paying with cash, keep an eye on your change, coin rolls from the bank. Walk in like a boss and ask for penny rolls. No, they won't think you're weird if you find one, congrats. But before you spend it on vending machine candy, check its condition. The better it looks, the more it's worth. Real quick, let me tell you how I accidentally made money off one of these. So, picture this, I'm at a coffee shop, I pay cash, get my change back, and boom, I see this weird, super shiny penny. At first, I'm like, whatever, it's a penny. But something told me to check it out. I pull out my phone, do a quick search, and bam, turns out my random coffee shop penny was worth more than my actual coffee. I flipped it on eBay, made a couple of bucks, and suddenly, I'm feeling like a Wall Street investor. Moral of the story? Always check your spare change. You never know when your morning latte might come with a side of profit. Alright, coin collectors and soon-to-be coin millionaires, that's all for today. Now you know why the 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is worth more than a cent and where to find them. So, start checking your pockets, your couch cushions, and even that mysterious coin jar your grandma has been hoarding for decades. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money, collecting strategies, and hidden treasures in your pocket change, then hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out. And let me know in the comments, what's the coolest coin you've ever found in your change? Alright, folks, let's talk about something that might be sitting in your pocket right now. Yes, I'm looking at you. Have you ever picked up a penny and thought, this thing's gotta be worth more than 1 cent, right? Well, in the case of the 2008 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, you'd be right, but don't get too excited just yet. Because, as of today, this coin is worth, drumroll please, $1.70. That's right. You could trade it in for a McChicken and still have enough left for a small fry. But before you go digging through your couch cushions like a pirate searching for treasure, let's dive into why this little copper beauty holds more value than its face value and if it's actually worth hoarding. So, let's back it up a bit. The 2008 Lincoln penny is part of the final run before the U.S. Mint switched to the bicentennial designs in 2009. That means this is one of the last pennies to feature our buddy Abe sitting stoically on the obverse and the classic Lincoln Memorial on the back. It's kind of like the last season of your favorite TV show, except nobody was crying about this change. Now, the no mint mark part. That just means this coin was minted in Philadelphia, because Philly doesn't put mint marks on pennies. I know, kinda rude, right? It's like signing a birthday card but not writing your name. Classic Philly move. So what makes this penny worth a little extra change? Well, first off, it's getting older. It's like a fine wine, except instead of getting better, it's just becoming rarer. And rarity drives value, people. Most circulated 2008 pennies. They're still worth 1 cent, so if you try to cash them in for a down payment on a house, you're gonna have a bad time. But, if yours is in really good condition, like, fresh out of the bank roll, never been sneezed on, and still shines brighter than my forehead on a summer day, it can go for about $1.70. Now, if you happen to have one in superb condition, like MS-67 or higher, you might be looking at a few more bucks, maybe even over $20 in some cases. But finding one that perfect is rarer than my grandma letting me win at poker. Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the jackpot with one of these bad boys. So there I was, sitting on my couch, bored out of my mind, watching reruns of some cooking show I'll never attempt to recreate, when I decided to sort through my coin jar. You know, that thing that just eats your loose change. Well, lo and behold, I found a 2008 penny with no mint mark. I swear, I heard angelic choir music in the background. I rushed to check its condition, hoping it was at least near mint. I grabbed a magnifying glass, inspected it like Sherlock Holmes, and then... bam! A tiny scratch right on Lincoln's face. Just like that, my dreams of early retirement were crushed. But hey, I still made $1.70 off a single penny, and that, my friends, is what I call a win. So, what's the takeaway here? Should you be raiding your piggy bank, looking for 2008 pennies? Absolutely. But temper those expectations. This isn't a golden ticket to riches, just a fun way to turn pocket change into lunch money. And if you love learning about coins that are worth more than their face value, I've got you covered. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, gently, of course, we don't want you breaking your device, and turn on notifications so you don't miss my next video on hidden treasures in your change jar. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some more pennies to inspect. See you in the next one, and happy coin hunting. Alright, folks, have you ever picked up a penny, looked at it, and thought, it's just a penny, and then tossed it aside like yesterday's coffee? Well, what if I told you that one of those little copper-colored coins from 2016 with no mint mark could be worth more than its face value? Yep, I'm talking about the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny, currently selling for about $1.70 in the market. Doesn't sound like much. Well, let's say you've got a jar full of these babies, that's like turning spare change into gas money. Stick around, because today, we're diving deep into why this coin is worth more than a cent and how you can spot valuable ones in your pocket change. Alright, first, let's break this down. The 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny is exactly what it sounds like, it's a penny from 2016 that doesn't have a mint mark. That means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, most pennies from Philly don't have mint marks, so don't go quitting your day job just yet. But what makes this coin a little bit special? Well, unlike your average penny, some of these have minor errors or are in pristine condition, which makes collectors willing to pay a bit more for them. You might be thinking, okay, cool, but why are people actually paying $1.70 for something they can get for a cent? Good question. First off, it's all about condition. If your 2016 penny looks like it just came out of a fresh roll, shiny, no scratches, no dirt from your couch cushions, it could be worth more to collectors. Uncirculated ones, especially in higher grades like MS-67 or MS-68, have sold for even higher prices. Some have even gone for $10 to $20. I mean, that's 2,000% more than face value. Not bad for a penny, right? Alright, now if you're looking to strike it rich, okay, let's be real, you're not retiring off these, but hey, every dollar counts. Here are a few things to keep an eye on: mint state condition. If it looks brand new, no scratches, no wear, and has that fresh copper shine, you might have something valuable. Error coins. Some 2016 pennies have doubling in the letters or Lincoln's face. If you spot something weird, it might be an error coin worth even more. High-grade slabs, if you get one professionally graded by PCGS or NGC and it scores high, you're in the money. So, before you toss that penny aside, give it a closer look. You might just be holding on to a small but mighty treasure. Okay, so let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a $20 penny. Yep, I was doing laundry, and a 2016 penny fell out of my jeans pocket. I was like, meh, just a penny, and almost left it on top of the washer. But then, I saw something weird. Lincoln's face looked a little off. I grabbed my magnifying glass, yes, I carry one, I take my coin seriously, and saw that it had doubling on Liberty. So, I sent it in for grading, and boom, it came back as an MS-67 double die. I sold it for $20. Moral of the story: always check your change, because one man's penny is another man's fancy lunch. Alright, so let's say you found one of these gems. What now? Here are a few places to sell them. eBay. Tons of collectors are always looking for high-grade pennies. Coin shows, great way to meet other collectors and dealers who'll pay top dollar. Online coin dealers, websites like APMEX or Heritage Auctions. Local coin shops, quick and easy, but sometimes lower offers. If you've got a really high-grade penny, consider getting it slabbed. That can boost the price significantly. Host. So, there you have it, folks, the 2016 no mint mark penny, worth way more than just a single cent. Who knew pocket change could be so interesting? The next time you're about to toss a penny in the tip jar, take a second and check it out. You never know, you might be sitting on some low-key treasure. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more coin tips, tricks, and ways to turn your spare change into actual money. Also, drop a comment below. What's the coolest coin you've ever found? Let's talk treasure hunting. See you in the next one. Alright, picture this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for enough change to justify that extra large fries, and boom! You find a crusty, little OL penny. It's a 1971 D Lincoln penny. You think, it's just a penny, right? Wrong. My friend, that tiny copper coin could be worth a whole, wait for it, $1.10 in today's market. Yep. You heard me. A whole $1.10. That's a 100x return on investment. If your investment was literally 1 cent now, you might be thinking, why should I care about a penny that's only worth $1? Well, stick with me, because there's way more to this story than just pocket change. We're gonna talk about why this coin has value, what makes it special, and how you can turn everyday pocket change into a serious collecting strategy. And if you're new here, hey, welcome. If you love making money from unexpected places, hit that subscribe button because I've got tons of tips on coins worth money. So, first things first, why is this little guy worth more than 1 cent? It's not like it's some ultra-rare gold coin dug up from a pirate ship. Nope, it's just your standard copper Lincoln penny minted in Denver in 1971. Here's the deal: condition is everything. If your 1971 D penny is all scratched up, corroded, or looking like it survived a garbage disposal accident, it's still just a penny. But if you happen to find one in mint condition, preferably graded MS-65 or higher, then we're talking about real collector value. And before you say, okay, but where do I find one in mint condition? Don't worry, I got you covered. Now, you might be wondering, okay, but where do I actually find one of these pennies? The answer: everywhere. Check your change. Yes, the same pocket lint-infested pile of coins in your car's cup holder could be hiding treasure. Coin rolls from banks. Coin roll hunting is like scratching a lottery ticket, but with fewer regrets. Garage sales and flea markets. You'd be shocked how many people sell old jars of coins without realizing their value. Grandma's coin jar. Look, if grandma lets you raid her coin collection, you better share the profits. Alright, real talk, let me tell you about the time I found a high-grade 1971 D penny in the most ridiculous way. That I was at a laundromat, waiting for my clothes to dry, when I spotted a penny on the floor. Now, normally, I wouldn't pick up a random floor penny, because, well, germs. But something about this one sparkled under the fluorescent lights like it was calling to me. So, I picked it up, gave it a quick shirt wipe, and guess what? It was a sharp, uncirculated 1971 D penny. I took it home, checked it under a magnifier, and boom, turns out it was an MS-66. Sold at later $4.47. Moral of the story: never ignore floor pennies. 1971 D Lincoln pennies aren't just worthless pocket change, they can be worth way more if they're in top condition. Finding them is easier than you think. Banks, your change, flea markets, and yes, even sketchy laundromat floors. Small coins can lead to big money, so always check your change. Now, if you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because I've got more coin tips, collecting hacks, and money-making strategies coming your way. And if you've ever found a rare or valuable coin in your pocket change, drop a comment below, I want to hear your stories. Alright, folks, let me ask you a question. Have you ever checked your spare change and thought, what if I'm sitting on a goldmine and don't even know it? I mean, imagine buying a soda with a penny that could actually be worth more than a whole bottle of Coke. Wild, right? Today, we're diving into a sneaky little treasure hiding in plain sight, the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Is it worth thousands? Nah. But is it worth more than a penny? Absolutely. So, grab your pocket change, a comfy seat, and let's get into it. Alright, first things first, what's so special about the 1978 penny? If you flip it over and check for a mint mark, you won't find one. No D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, just Lincoln chilling there like, yeah, I don't need a mint mark, I'm already iconic. But here's the thing, that's not a mistake. All 1978 pennies made in Philadelphia had no mint mark. It was just how they rolled back then. But before you chuck it back into your coin jar thinking it's worthless, hold up. Because even a humble penny can be worth more than you think. Now, let's talk numbers. If you find a regular, well-circulated 1978 penny, it's worth, well, about a cent. No surprise there. But if you've got one in pristine, shiny, fresh off the mint condition, that baby can go for up to $1.20. And I know what you're thinking, $1.20. That's not exactly retirement money. True, but think about it, what other investment lets you turn 1 cent into 120 times its value instantly? That's like if your coffee budget magically stretched to cover a month's supply. You know, I actually have a funny story about coin collecting. When I was a kid, my grandpa had this big old jar of pennies. And one day, he told me, every penny has a story, you just gotta find the right one. So, naturally, little me sat on the floor and checked every single penny. Hours later, all I had was a sore back and about 500 plain old pennies. No hidden fortune, just a history lesson. But hey, that's how I caught the coin collecting bug. And now, here I am, telling you to check your pennies because sometimes, just sometimes, you actually find a little gem. So, how do you know if you have a 1978 penny worth more than its face value? Here are 3 things to check. Condition is king. If your penny looks like it's been through 40 years of pocket lint and washing machines, it's probably just pocket change. But if it's shiny and free of scratches, now we're talking. Errors equals extra value. Some 1978 pennies have misprints, like off-center strikes or doubled letters. These errors can make them worth way more, so grab a magnifying glass and start investigating. A professional coin grading service can tell you exactly how much your penny is worth. The higher the grade, the higher the price. So, is the 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny the next Bitcoin? Probably not. But is it worth checking your loose change for? Absolutely. Because hey, who doesn't love turning spare pennies into actual dollars? And even if you don't find a jackpot coin, at least you've got a cool story to tell. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, that's it for today's deep dive into pocket change profits. Now it's your turn, go check your coins and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button because I've got more money-making coin tips coming your way. Who knows? Your next coin find might just fund your next vacation. See you in the next one. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, buckle up. Have you ever found an old penny and thought, it's just a cent? Not even worth bending over to pick up. Well, hold on, because today we're talking about a coin that's technically worth $1.30, which, okay, might not make you rich, but hey, that's a 130% return on investment. Try getting that in the stock market. We're diving into the 1980 Lincoln penny today, breaking down what makes it worth slightly more than face value, how you can identify the good ones, and why some collectors still love this tiny copper wonder. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you just might be raiding your couch cushions for lost change. First, let's talk about where this coin came from. The 1980 penny was struck at the Denver Mint, hence the D mint mark under the date. It was produced in massive quantities. We're talking over 5 billion pennies. That's more pennies than there are awkward family Thanksgiving conversations. At the time, these pennies were made mostly of 95% copper, with a little zinc thrown in, because hey, even coins need variety. This means that unlike today's pennies, which are mostly zinc with a whisper of copper coating, these older ones actually have some real metal value. Alright, let's talk numbers. If you walk into a store with a 1980 penny, guess what? It's still a penny. The cashier is not gonna look at you and go, ah yes, a fine vintage, let me give you $1 for it. But in the collector's world, it's worth about $1.30 in mint condition, not life-changing, but hey, that's like an extra candy bar at checkout. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If your penny is shiny, uncirculated, and has sharp details, collectors might pay a little extra for it. A graded MS-67 penny. That could fetch upwards of $50. And if you find one in perfect mint state, you might even see it go for hundreds at auction. Not bad for something people ignore on the sidewalk. So, let's say you want to check your change jar. Here's what you should keep an eye out for: the D mint mark. Gotta have that Denver D below the date, or else you're just looking at a regular 1980 penny. Condition is everything. If it looks like it's been chewed on by history, it's probably worth 1 cent errors. This is where things get juicy. Some 1980 pennies have doubling errors on the lettering or Lincoln's profile. If you find a double die penny, you could be looking at serious collector money, and hey, if you need a magnifying glass to check, welcome to the club. I used to laugh at people who did this, until I found a double die penny worth $50. Who's laughing now? Speaking of checking pennies, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was going through some old change from my grandma's house. She had this giant jar of pennies. Seriously, I think it was older than me. So, I'm digging through, half asleep, when I spot this super shiny 1980 penny. My heart starts racing, my inner treasure hunter wakes up. I check it under my light, and bam, turns out, it was just really clean. Not rare, not worth much, just suspiciously shiny. Moral of the story? Not every old penny is a jackpot, but you never know unless you check. So, what did we learn today? The 1980 Lincoln penny isn't exactly gonna pay off your mortgage, but it's still a cool coin with some collector value. If you find one in mint condition, hold on to it. And if you spot one with an error, get it checked, you might be holding onto a hidden gem. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a valuable penny in your pocket change? Drop a comment below and tell me your best coin find. And if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that are secretly worth money, smash that like button and subscribe for more treasure hunting tips. Until next time, keep checking your change. Alright, let's talk about that shiny penny you just found at the bottom of your pocket or in that old coin jar your grandmother gave you. No, I'm not talking about some random pocket change you can barely spend these days. I'm talking about the 1981 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And no, this isn't just another penny, this little guy could be hiding some serious cash. You might even have a treasure worth more than your lunch money right now. And I know, who cares about a penny? But let me tell you, this penny could be worth a lot more than what you think. Stick around to the end, because by the time we're done, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. But hey, let's start with a little history lesson. Don't worry, I'll keep it fun. Let's dive in. Alright, so let's get the basics out of the way. The 1981 penny. Classic, right? It's that year when you probably were rocking some sweet 80s fashion, neon colors were definitely a thing, and DT was making us all cry at the movies. But this penny? It was minted with a D mark, which means it came out of the Denver Mint. Cool, right? Well, here's the kicker. It wasn't just any run-of-the-mill penny. Nope. In 1981, the Mint produced over 6 billion pennies, so you wouldn't think there'd be anything special about it. But wait, it gets better. Some of these pennies, like the one you've probably got lying around somewhere, are worth up to $1.40. Now, I know what you're thinking, how could a penny be worth that much? It's just a penny. I get it, I do. But hear me out. With certain pennies, the condition matters. You see, some of these 1981 pennies were either struck slightly off-center, with double die errors, or just came out looking super clean. These little defects or pristine conditions are what make a coin worth more than a mere 1-cent price tag. And if you're wondering, okay, but how do I tell if mine's special? That's where the detective work comes in. Grab yourself a magnifying glass, no, not one of those fancy ones that come with a treasure chest set, just a regular one, and start inspecting your penny. Look for things like doubling in the lettering or any off-center printing. Trust me, it's a fun little scavenger hunt. Okay, so if you find a cool error, congrats. Your penny might be worth more than a bag of chips and a soda at the corner store. In fact, in perfect condition, an uncirculated 1981 D Lincoln penny could fetch you $1.40. Yep, a whole $1.40. I'm sure there are some of you out there like, but $1.40, really? And look, I get it. That's not gonna retire you or buy you a new car, but for a penny that you probably found in the change jar or got from your morning coffee run, that's a pretty solid return. I mean, come on, think about it. If you had 100 of these, that's $140. That's some serious change. And who knows? Maybe you'll even stumble across one that's worth more. Some of these rare 1981 D pennies have been known to sell for even more, depending on their rarity and condition. Let me tell you, I once stumbled upon a coin from the 1800s. It was just hanging out, chilling in a box I had from an old yard sale. Now, I'm no expert, but when I saw the date, my heart stopped. I thought I was about to pay off my student loans with one coin. Spoiler alert, it wasn't worth as much as I hoped, but that little spark of excitement was priceless. So, don't throw away your pennies just yet. Okay, back to the 1981 penny. Here's the important part, these rare coins aren't just about the money, they're about the hunt, the thrill of finding something special where you least expect it. I mean, think about it. This little coin has been in circulation for over 4 decades. And now, it's sitting in your hand, with the potential to be worth more than you imagined. So why not take a closer look before you toss it back into the change jar? You never know what you might find. Scene, you're holding the penny up to the light, inspecting it with a smile. So, to wrap things up, those 1981 D Lincoln pennies? Definitely worth taking a second look at. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone who likes to check out weird little facts, this penny could be your gateway to discovering more hidden treasures in your pocket change. If you want more tips on what coins are worth money, how to spot valuable ones, or just some fun, nerdy facts about coins that'll impress your friends, or confuse your dog, hit that subscribe button. I've got more stories, strategies, and a whole lot of cool info coming your way. You point at the subscribe button on screen. And hey, if you find a penny and it turns out to be worth $1.40, you owe me a virtual high five. Deal? Thanks for hanging out with me today. See you next time, coin collectors. Wave goodbye as the screen fades to your channel logo. Alright, listen up, coin lovers. Have you ever had one of those moments where you're flipping through your loose change and then boom, you see something that makes you stop in your tracks? Like, maybe that old penny that's just been chilling in your wallet for years, totally looking like a regular, boring penny. You know, the kind you're not even sure what to do with. Well, what if I told you that this very ordinary looking penny could be worth a lot more than you think? In fact, today we're talking about the 1982 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and trust me, it's worth more than just 1 cent. How much more? Keep watching to find out. Okay, let's start with the basics. You might be thinking, 1982? That's so long ago. I wasn't even born then. Heck, my parents might not even have been born. But hang tight, this is gonna be fun. In 1982, the US Mint switched up the way they were making pennies. They went from 95% copper to mostly zinc with a thin copper coating. But here's the thing, not all pennies were minted the same way that year. Some of them, didn't have a mint mark at all. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who cares if there's no mint mark? But that missing mint mark is the kicker here. Normally, you'd see a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But in 1982, a small batch of pennies was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and they didn't put a mint mark on those bad boys. This tiny little oversight means they're rare, like, really rare in coin terms. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, except the needle has serious value. Visual, zoom in to show close-up of penny with missing mint mark. Imagine you're at a party, and you see someone wearing the same shirt as you, awkward. Now imagine that everyone else is wearing something totally different, and you're like, well, this is clearly a special shirt. That's basically what these no mint mark pennies are like. They're the fashionistas of the penny world. And trust me, people are willing to pay for that unique style. So, how much are we talking here? A regular 1982 penny with a mint mark? Meh, it's worth a cent. But the 1982 no mint mark penny? Well, that can fetch you around a solid $1.50 on average. Not bad, right? You can buy, like, 1.5 fancy coffees with that, or, if you're feeling a little adventurous, maybe a really overpriced avocado toast. Either way, that's 1 penny that could help you out. But wait, there's more. The value of this little penny can go up even more if it's in great condition. We're talking uncirculated grades here, like, mint condition. If you've got one of these guys in perfect shape, you could be looking at $2 to $5. Maybe even more if you find the right buyer. I mean, $5 for a penny is like finding a $20 bill in your laundry. That's an extra Taco Tuesday. Here's a funny story. A few years ago, I was rummaging through a jar of coins I had sitting around. You know, the one that's basically just a catch-all for every penny, nickel, and dime you get as change. Anyway, I picked up a penny, and it was one of these 1982 no mint marks. At first, I thought, this thing is probably worth, like, what? 1 cent. But then I did a quick search online. Turns out it was worth a couple of bucks. I was like, what? This is the good stuff. I literally couldn't believe it. So, moral of the story, always check your change, folks. You never know what you've got lying around. So, before you toss that penny into your next jar, remember, there might be gold, or at least a couple of bucks, hidden in those coppery depths. The 1982 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a pretty sweet find, and while it's not going to make you rich, it's definitely worth keeping an eye out for. If you've learned something new today, or if you're just excited to dig through your change jar now, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips on coins that are worth more than you think, trust me, you won't want to miss it. And hey, share this with a friend, so you can both start your own little penny treasure hunts. Who knows, maybe you'll both become coin experts. Or just $1.50 richer. Hey, what's up, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and everyone who accidentally found this video while trying to look up something completely unrelated. Welcome back to the channel where we turn spare change into serious cash. Today, we're talking about a penny that might just be hiding in your couch cushions, the 1983 Lincoln penny with a current market value of about $1.60. Now, I know what you're thinking, $1.60. That's not exactly a retirement plan. But hang tight, because there's way more to this humble little cent than meets the eye. We're diving deep, we're getting nerdy, and we're having some laughs along the way, so stick around. So, why is a coin that says 1 cent actually worth more than that? Well, my friends, it's all about rarity, errors, and demand. The 1983 Lincoln penny isn't rare in itself, I mean, over 6.4 billion of these bad boys were minted in Denver alone. But what makes certain ones more valuable is their condition, special errors, and collector demand. 1983 was a big transition year for pennies. Just 1 year prior, in 1982, the US Mint made a major switch. They stopped making solid copper pennies and switched to a zinc core with a copper coating to save money. Inflation, my friends, it affects everything, even tiny little coins. So, by 1983, every penny coming out of the mint was mostly zinc, but guess what? Some things went weird. If you've got a 1983 penny with some strange doubling on Liberty, the date, or even Lincoln's bust, congrats. You might be looking at a double die error, one of the holy grails of penny collecting. These errors happen when the die that strikes the coin gets misaligned, creating a doubling effect. A regular 1983 penny, $1.60 in great condition. A 1983 double die penny, up to $15,000. Yeah, you heard me right. That's enough to buy, like, 1,000 burritos. So how do you know if you've got a winner? Grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, no, not the one you got from your kid's science kit, an actual decent one. Hold it up to Liberty, the date, and Lincoln's face. If you see clear doubling, congratulations, my friend, you just hit the penny jackpot. Condition matters, don't go spending it just yet. Even if your penny doesn't have an error, its value depends a lot on its condition. Coin collectors love their pennies to be as flawless as possible, no scratches, no wear, no evidence that it lived under your car seat for a decade. A mint state, MS-65, graded 1983 penny can fetch $5 to $10, and if it's an MS-67 or higher, we're talking hundreds of dollars. Let me tell you a quick story. A while back, I was going through some old rolls of pennies from a garage sale, you know, one of those places where you expect to find old coffee mugs and VHS tapes. I wasn't expecting much, but boom, a 1983 with a slight doubling. It wasn't a perfect mint state coin, but it still sold for $85. Not bad for a penny, right? Moral of the story, check your change. You never know what treasures you'll find. Alright, so now you know, that little 1983 Lincoln penny in your pocket. It might be worth way more than a cent. Whether it's a standard high-grade penny, a rare double die error, or just a cool piece of history, these coins are definitely worth looking out for. So here's what I need you to do next: check your pennies. And while you're at it, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more tips for finding coins worth money. Trust me, you'll want to be here when we cover more hidden treasures you might be spending by accident. Thanks for watching. Welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into treasure. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever found a penny in your car cup holder, under your couch, or maybe even in your washing machine and thought, meh, just another penny? Well, hold on to your seats because today we're talking about one of those everyday coins that might be worth a little more than you think, the 1985 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Now, before you go dumping out your piggy bank like a madman, let's break this one down. Is this penny rare? Not really. Is it worth millions? Absolutely not. But is it fun to learn about, and could it make you a little extra cash? Oh yeah. So, let's dive into this tiny copper beauty and see what makes it special. Alright, first off, if you're staring at a 1985 penny in your hand, you might be wondering what exactly no mint mark even means. Well, it's simple. The US Mint produces coins at different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most of the time, coins minted in Denver and San Francisco have a little D or S on them. But Philadelphia? They were too cool for that in 1985. So, the majority of Philly minted pennies that year came out with no mint mark at all. Now, here's the deal: because this was intentional and not an error, these pennies aren't rare. But, collectors still love them, especially in pristine condition. A circulated 1985 no mint Mark Lincoln penny? That's pretty much worth a penny. Maybe two if you're lucky. But here's where things get interesting: if you find one in great shape, also known as mint state condition, the value starts climbing. Let's talk numbers. If you've got a 1985 no mint mark penny in typical, well-loved, pocket-worn condition, congrats, it's worth exactly 1 cent. But if you've got a clean, shiny, nearly flawless one, we're talking anywhere from 50 cents to a few bucks. And if you hit the jackpot and find one graded MS 67 or higher, you might be looking at $30 or more. Not exactly retirement money, but hey, it's a great excuse to dig through that loose change jar. Now, fun fact, there was a time when I thought I had struck it rich. I found a 1985 penny in my old jeans, and for some reason, it looked shinier than the others. I was already dreaming of an early retirement, maybe a yacht, maybe a private island. Turns out, it was just a really clean penny. The moral of the story? Check your coins, but don't quit your day job just yet. The 1985 no mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't a jackpot coin, but it's still worth keeping an eye out for. If you find one in pristine condition, you might get a little extra cash out of it. And if nothing else, it's a fun reminder that even the smallest, most ordinary things can have a little hidden value. Now, before you go running to check your couch cushions, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got plenty more videos coming your way about rare coins, valuable bills, and strategies to make money from your pocket change. And hey, if you've ever found a cool or valuable coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story.